Welcome to Her Fantasy Football NFL Draft Wrap-Up Edition. You can hear us on Blog Talk Radio / Her Fantasy Football and on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe to us on herfantasyfootball.com so you know what we're up to this offseason. Also, you can chat with us on Twitter at Her Fantasy FB and on Facebook / Her Fantasy Football. I'm your host, Courtney Kirby.
And I'm Ashley Williams.
And I'm Brandon Lee.
Here we go. The draft was last week. It was as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Brandon called it. No
It looked
trades.
empty, didn't it? I felt bad. Like, it looked empty.
Yeah, it really did. And I know that they had the stuff going on outside and what have you, but yeah, when they showed the audience and it was empty, I thought, wow, guys, it's the first night. Like, the first night looked empty. That was weird.
It was very
Maybe
weird.
they just put too many seats in there, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But supposedly it went well. Everyone else that was there thought it was awesome and the energy was cool and that there were all these things to do outside, which, you know, we went to the NFL draft last year and in New York City, and it's just in Radio City Music Hall. I mean, it really is not there was no town like there was the draft town. But, yeah, so I think that's what they're going to do from now on.
We'll see.
You go. It looked good. It looked good.
Yeah, really did. Yeah.
It
was
not
being in
bad.
New York, but that's okay.
Roger Goodell always, looked as handsome as usual. And,
Getting booed from the start. I feel so bad. I hate that moment. I'm uncomfortable every time.
He knows it's coming.
Yeah.
When we were there at the draft, Roger came up, and I'm calling him Roger because we're close now.
Yeah.
And everybody in the crowd was really nice to his face. So at least when he's like walking the streets, people usually are respectable. It's just when he gets up on stage,
Yeah, because everybody's got big boy panties on where they don't have to be face to face with somebody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I will say that one of my favorite moments was on day 2 when the standing ovation for Jim Kelly happened. I actually watched it again tonight and cried a little, and I had to go, touch up. I was like, Jim Kelly.
Boy. Kelly.
He's so good.
It really is, though. Who doesn't like Jim Kelly? The devil. That's it.
Nice.
One person.
One.
Or being.
or John Elway, allegedly. Do you remember back when he was actually in the hospital and everyone's like, John Elway didn't come to visit him?
That's so...
Do you remember this? It was because, Dan,
yes.
And I was just like, not everybody from the draft class of 1983 is required to show up in Buffalo to say hello to Jim Kelly. Like,
well, I'm sure
rather that be just moments with close friends and family.
Yeah.
I'm sure he called him. I just thought it was so ridiculous.
Have you seen the draft special with Jim Kelly and Elway and Marino? And Jim Kelly's like, the one place I didn't want to go to. When Elway was like, I don't want to go there, and his agent's like, is there anywhere you don't want to go to, Kelly? And he's like, Buffalo.
I know.
And then he loved Buffalo, so you know what? There it goes.
Of course.
I love where you are.
Yep. Well, we're going to hop right into the show and start off with the AFC East. We're going to talk about each team and the fantasy implications on their draft picks. But
we have to start with the big
draft. Yeah, it wasn't so much the draft that made the Patriots in the news. Deflategate is back. The ruling is in.
Kind of.
Hernandez has been guilty of double homicide, and Tom Brady is guilty of deflating the balls.
Well, of probable knowledge of
Probable
deflating
knowledge.
the balls.
I mean, if I hear another thing about circumstantial evidence dealing with the Patriots, again, it's too soon. It's too soon.
Like,
it's uncomfortable.
I knew Tom Brady had probable knowledge of the deflated balls way back when it happened. I just love that this is like, you guys, he probably knew about it. Like, yeah, obviously, you think some guy's just going to randomly deflate a ball without Tom Brady knowing about it? It's crazy.
Well, I love that I am now covering the Patriots because they are now really exciting. I thought, oh gosh, they'll be the most boring team because, it's like you either start Gronk or you're, really questioning everything else that you do. But let me tell you what, if you go online, look up all of the hilarious text messages that went back and forth between the equipment manager, John Jastrzemski, and then Jim McNally, who I guess is the actual quote-unquote deflator. He calls himself the deflator.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You know, that's
When we're
fine.
talking about circumstantial, that's about as circumstance heavy as you get.
He's giving
So-
himself his own superhero name. Why wouldn't you?
But you must check it out because they are
love it.
just trash talking Brady left and right. I mean, it is the best part of this investigation for sure. Also, the fact that Tom Brady sometimes gives people Uggs for Christmas, but he has never given one to McNally.
The
So
best
there are a
part
lot
is
of
when I was
jokes
re-
about shoes.
when I was reading this before our show with Courtney, and I was like, the moment I read this, I felt like it was one of those farce texts with all the quarterbacks who like bust each other's balls in the obviously fake text string.
Yeah. Yeah, or the
I-
Facebook. Yeah.
Right. I literally had to go back as I'm reading the article and check to make sure I'm not on the Onion, I'm not on the Chive, and I'm like, wait, oh no, this is a reputable publication.
No,
These
it's
texts
the New
are
York Times.
real. These texts are real.
Well,
It's awesome.
so the most damning text, of course, was from Jim McNally, deliverer of the balls, and he says to Jastrzemski, "Nice dude, Jimmy needs some kicks. Let's make a deal. Come on and help the deflator." It's tough. But my favorite exchange, though, which is funny to me, which, by the way, I want to tell you, first of all, that Tom Brady had said that he had never met McNally. Remember when he was like denying all this? He didn't know what on earth this is. So here's funny. McNally, Tom sucks. I'm going to make the next ball a fucking balloon. Jastrzemski, talked to him last night. He actually brought you up and said that you must have a lot of stress trying to get them done. I told him it was. He was right, though. I checked some of the balls from the morning. The refs fucked us. They were almost at 16. They didn't recheck them after they put air in them. McNally, fuck Tom. 16 is nothing. Wait until next Sunday. Jastrzemski, OMG, spaz.
That's what I'm telling you. They seem
Jastrzemski's my
fake.
favorite.
But the
Yeah.
fact that it's F Tom, like literally every other text
Oh,
message,
God.
is just hostile and hilarious.
Well, first
Just
of all,
wait
these
till
guys
next
don't have a
Sunday.
job anymore, right?
Oh my god.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're done.
Yeah, the
So-
deflator's done.
I think they're both done. These
Yeah,
exchanges
yeah.
are not.
Whatever.
Hey.
Give Rex Ryan a minute. Give him
Yeah.
a minute. He's gonna be like, "Hey McNally, I got a place for you."
I got you. Tom does stuff.
Rex Ryan's got this guy on speed dial. He's like,
yeah, he
"Hello."
does. Yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
It's humorous. It's
It
so
is.
ridiculous. It's humorous.
It is.
I was
funny.
laughing at my coworkers. I was like, surprise or no surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
They were
I
gonna
mean, it's good. It's good stuff. I enjoy it. I'm interested to see what penalties are going to come down.
I mean,
But
it's a 243-page document, right? I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
stuff to document. Clearly. Fuck Tom.
wait till next week.
It was like every sentence was that.
I know. It's amazing.
I will say, though, I read this and I thought, gee, really embarrassing if someone got into my text messages because I bet
Yeah.
I look crazy. Especially like the texts at like 2 a.m. after going out. Like, hey,
You don't delete your drunk text right away?
I never delete any
You're
text.
a rookie. You're a rookie.
I'm a total rookie. I don't have anything really to hide other than
I
typos.
don't have any drunk texts.
You
So.
wake up in the morning, you have your little mini walk of shame in your own bed staring at your phone, and then you delete the shame.
But I'm married. I don't have a walk of shame. I just text my husband, like, random nothings, being like, hey, I'm on my way.
But for all you know,
Emoji,
someone's
emoji.
going to get into your cell phone, and they're going to look at this, and they're going to see that you're going to say, fuck Tom, and they're going to say, oh,
I know, exactly. Now I'm
She's
like,
part of
delete
it.
all texts.
she was part of it.
That's okay.
Oh,
I already told my husband
Brady.
if he died, then I would be definitely accused of murder. So, because we always Google, like, serial killers and stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, who doesn't?
And game over. They look at my computer. And if I die, it'll be the same thing. It'll be like, even if it's like of a natural cause, they'll be like, nope, that Carson guy, definitely his computer is shady.
Well, good thing for the cops. They won't have to look at your guys' texts because now
Exactly.
it's on air.
That's right.
So,
There you
that's
go. It's
true.
all right here.
Anything exciting happened in the draft for the?
No, that's what's so great about this. So as far as fantasy impact, they had one of their Belichick drafts. It's fine. Malcolm Brown at the end of the first round was a fabulous steal, and that's about it.
Perfect. Buffalo Bills, sexy Rexy.
The Bills. They picked up a lot of good players. I won't go through all of them, but not surprisingly, Rex Ryan, he's a defensive guy, so it shouldn't be too much a surprise that he went with Ronald Darby, who is a cornerback from Florida State. They went with 3 Florida State players, by the way. They clearly liked what they were seeing there, but that was his first pick. The good news is that he will step in to compete against the current starters, in the old regime, so it's kind of a different shift. In order to be the Patriots, they have to defend against the pass against Mr. Gronky Gronk and the wide array of receiver crew. So, plus they got to defend the softball's Brady. So that's a good pickup. So also they picked up a tight ends. Can you say welcome to the team, the official Aaron Hernandez replacement? For sure, because that all kind of came down after the original incident.
Okay.
The original incident. But he's
So
a good
many
pickup,
words.
as he was the 2014 Mackey Award winner, and he's an every game kind of starter. What I do like about O'Leary, and again, this is Nick O'Leary, again, tight end, Florida State, again, no surprise, is that he's old school. He's a blocker, which is what I like. And I like this going to be kind of a nice little tandem with Gronk. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot of action from him, but he is an old school tight end, which I think is good for their team. And other than that, just kind of John Miller's interesting pickup. He's not huge, only 6'2", 303 pounds. He's a guard. Brady's getting old, and they need to shore up that line. So, good pickup.
Nice pickup. Miami Dolphins. They got a big boost in their offense, which is nice. They got a wide receiver, Devontae Parkers, in the first round with the 14th pick overall. And running back, Jay Ajayi. In the 5th
Great
round.
name.
Yeah, so that was, quite the steal. So Ajayi is really talented, but in his physicals he got, some of them he didn't pass because they're saying that his ACL that he tore way back in 2011, it's now bone on bone. So yeah, which is perfect, I think, for Miami because they got No Sean, they got Lamar Miller. I mean, it's just like the perfect storm of running backs all on the bench of injury. But I guess Miami saw something they liked. They picked him up anyways. He is a really talented back, and he's played very well since the injury. So, yeah, it is sad, but hopefully he does well. I'm crossing my fingers for him. And Parker's, he's extremely talented dude, and I would love to draft him in fantasy. But that team now is quite heavy in receivers. They have Jarvis Landry, which I love, Kenny Stills, Greg Jennings, and now Jordan Cameron. And now you're adding, and so it's a lot going on. A lot going on in Miami with not a very good offensive line, if we all remember. They did pick up one guy, but they waited for the 3rd round for an offensive lineman. So, it could have gotten a better one, hence if they had gone a little earlier for one. But so
it wasn't a great draft class, though, for that. But.
No,
it wasn't. But you picked I do believe you picked the best player available. But Tannehill's going to have a hard time having time to get the ball to all of those targets.
Are you a best player available person?
In the first round, I am.
A little more needs.
In the first round, I am. Unless it's, super close. If you're still a great wide receiver, but, the offensive line is where you need, and that number one offensive line guy is still available, I'm taking the offensive line over the receiver, even though he's higher on the board. But very rarely.
Depends how bad the team is, right? If you have a glaring need, you gotta get that.
Yeah, like the Raiders, you just pick whoever, right?
Yeah.
You literally just check it off the list of whoever's available because you need everything, right? So, but for Miami, they really needed a line. So we'll see. It's a lot of targets, which is good. It's good for Tannehill. I love Tannehill, so I hope he has a wonderful season.
I do too.
I do. But the best story coming out of Miami was Mr. Parker's mom in the draft. Oh
Winning.
my God. So when the Cleveland Browns passed on Devontae Parker, his mom goes, "We didn't want him going to Cleveland." Let's see here. She goes, "They don't have a team, really, or a quarterback. I knew I didn't want the Cleveland Browns. I know the teams he could go to and the teams he couldn't go to. We are happy with the Miami Dolphins." He was very ecstatic. "We're happy. We love the weather."
Yeah.
We love the weather. That's my favorite.
I love that the weather's like less
Not
jab.
wrong. She's not wrong.
And you have
No.
bad weather.
Loves the team and Tannehill. That's what she loves. She's not a fan
And
of
the weather.
And the weather.
The weather.
Clearly.
I just think she's right. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a bold
sorry.
statement for someone to say when your kid's being drafted. But
Yeah,
I mean,
of
who
course.
does want their kid to go with Johnny Manziel and the entire nightmare that's the Cleveland Browns organization?
No one.
No one.
Maybe
I mean,
she's
somebody's got to.
Yes.
But
and we're all laughing, but she might be all on it because I was like, yes, I love it.
Devontae Parker is a big boy, guys, and he's fast. So, you draft him late. I wouldn't feel bad about it, depending on how the preseason goes and all that stuff. So he's legit. Jets.
they had a pretty 50-50 split in terms of picking up defensive players versus offensive players. Which makes sense, as there was little to be desired on either side of the ball last year. So
Yeah.
you're just got to take it who you can. But they did get Leonard Williams, which is a huge pickup. He's one of the best players in the draft, in my opinion, so I'm glad they got him. And I'm liking Devin Smith, wide receiver pickup.
Yes.
So with the acquisition of Brandon Marshall in the offseason, obviously he's the big man, right? And then we got Eric Decker, who's your slot guy. This is a speedster that they needed down the side. So he's going to be able to stretch that field out and create a lot more open options for, well, whoever will be the quarterback. Speaking of, that brings me to the quarterback, Bryce Petty, who they drafted. So he was drafted in the 4th round. Don't think too much of that because Brady was drafted in the 6th round. We all know what he's done. There's been plenty of quarterbacks drafted later in the rounds that have done well. But he's being brought in to compete with Geno Smith. I do think Geno will win out, certainly for the start of the season. He's got a little bit of a leg up in terms of, being in the NFL and being a little bit more used to that NFL speed than Bryce Petty. But I cannot guarantee you mid-season who will be starting. So, I mean, just know that he is being brought in to compete.
Yeah.
I love Bryce Petty. I really do enjoy him.
Yeah, you called that earlier, actually.
Yeah, I like him.
I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah. AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, so the Ravens needed a wide receiver, so they drafted Brashad Perriman, and he's from Central Florida. He wasn't the cool guy like Amari Cooper or Kevin
Right.
White, but he's going to contribute on day one because they need him. It doesn't matter. He also averaged almost 20 yards per catch, but he had a lot of drops, so it's kind of like route running issues.
Eric Decker, hey, you still play him, so.
Well, Eric Decker was the opposite in college, though, but then he came to the pros and he was like, what's this? Anyway, Max with 2 X's, Williams from the University of Minnesota, Golden Gophers. He is another great thing because, listen, Dennis Pitta has had 2 surgeries on dislocated hips 2 years in a row. It's not looking great, and
Yeah.
reports are really dicey. So this is a big pickup for them. And I think Max Williams, if you're in a dynasty league, he's like a first rounder. I think he's like forever, especially in Mark Trestman's offense. Again, they've changed offensive coordinators. And so think Martellus Bennett. Put on your Martellus Bennett hat. Right here. And Javorius Buck Allen from USC is a running back sleeper because he's a little pass-catching guy, but he's bigger. He's 6 feet. So he's 6 foot, running back, catches the ball. Mark Trestman, I like it.
I'm into it. Pittsburgh Steelers, there was no really fantasy news here with the draft. They drafted, defense because Steelers need defense, and God knows they don't need an offense because they got like the top wide receiver, top running back, and a decent quarterback. So it was just rebuild draft for them. So, go Steelers.
Love me the Steelers. I'm
Yellow
glad I don't
towel.
have them anymore.
Sad.
There
you
are
have
so
the
many people
Bengals.
you're going to draft
You got-
anyway.
You got Andy Dalton, Ashley. That's
I
all
do
you
have my
need.
Ginge back, which I'm
You
pretty
do.
stoked about.
You do.
Yeah. And the Bengals, I liked their draft. They had a good draft. They made some smart moves. So clearly the Bengals are serious about providing Andy Dalton some protection, as well as opening up more holes for the backfield, as they picked up 2 offensive tackles in the first 2 rounds. So, the 2 tackles are in their final year. The current 2 tackles are in the final year of their contracts. So the writing's kind of on the wall right now. Clearly they're not pleased with what they're doing, and they went in and they got 2 new guys, and it is what it is. Another good pickup on the defensive side, they picked up an inside linebacker and a defensive tackle, and that was Paul Dawson and Marcus Hudson. So both are great value for where they got them, and they're both explosive and playmakers. So I like this a lot, and adding more into the fun mix of the defensive side, because the Bengals had a good defense last year, and this is just kind of kicking it back up a notch. They're a great defense to be picking up. Yeah. Free safety, Darren Smith. He was another outstanding pick. So picking him at the 6th round, first of all, he is small. He's only 5'10", but he's a good tackler, and he shows lots of promise because he's a bit of a hybrid player. So overall, I think they had a great draft. I'm really excited about the Bengals defense next year.
Yeah, really. And they're healthy.
And they're
players are already there healthy. Browns.
Well, they don't have a team or a quarterback, so should we move on?
Minor problem.
They went nose tackle and center in the first round, which was exactly what they needed to do. And no, it wasn't a money pick, but they know how that worked out. So moving on. The most intriguing pick for them, though, was the 3rd round Duke Johnson. He's a running back. Am I right?
Right.
Making the money signs. He's 5'9", 194 pounds. But he was the school's all-time leading rusher with 3,519 yards. Miami. Hello. So, mostly, I think they just did this because they wanted 3 running backs with great names that will all share the load, and we can be frustrated. That's what I think.
I like it.
Yep. And perhaps the only person. Oh yeah, and then I did the write-up about Devontae Parker, and you guys in the pre-show, Courtney and I had to fight a little bit about who could talk about how bad the Browns were and Devontae Parker's mom. I lost, but that's it. That's all I got to say with Browns.
Well, the Browns did rebuttal to Parker's mom, though, and was like, I guess Miami all offseason was just like, we want guys who have the heart, in football or whatever. And so Cleveland came out with a statement. We passed on Devontae Parker's because he didn't seem to have the heart of a football player. Or something like that. Just total BS. Ooh, way to attack a 20-year-old, It's like, good for you.
Love when
especially because it was his mom.
His mom. I don't even hate it as his mom, who clearly knows more about football than that staff. AFC South. Indianapolis Colts. My dream team.
Colts. So again, the Colts clearly want to make sure they have Andrew Luck nice and happy and stocked up with offensive options. I like wide receiver Philip Dorsett. I like that pickup a lot. He's just going to add another speedy weapon in Luck's arsenal that he's got going there with the wide receivers. So I'm a fan of this pickup. I think this also helps Andrew Luck out.
Really?
Yeah, I like this pickup.
One pick of the draft that I did not like.
I thought defense, right?
Yeah, because they have so many needs. The last thing they need is a wide receiver.
Yeah, offense is pretty stacked.
But they're stacking them up. They are keeping Luck happy.
Yeah,
I agree. Defense needs some help, but
supposedly T.Y. Hilton's not happy.
And they went DD.
Of course he's not happy.
The next 4 picks, so
they did. Yeah. I mean, they went cornerback, defensive end, strong safety, and defensive tackle. So I mean, it's they addressed it. They've probably taken what they feel is best player off the board, right? That's the strategy they went.
Yeah.
So can't fault
Dorsett's legit. Yeah.
I am intrigued though by the Henry Anderson pickup, as they already have 2 pretty solid tight ends on the team. Allen, there's also 4 guys back behind that too. There's 6 tight ends on their roster at the moment, plus this guy. But overall, Anderson's been viewed pretty favorably. Plus, he's a big guy at 6'6", 294 pounds. That is a big guy. But I see a lot of blocking in his future, more so than anything else, quite honestly.
Are you like an oracle? I see a lot of blocking in your future.
I see him being brought in as an extra lineman. I'm just saying.
saying. I
Just
can see it right here.
I see him having no purpose on your fantasy team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying right there. But
That's
I also like the fact we're able to pick up a pretty decent running back in the 6th round with Josh Robinson. He's pretty amazing. So clearly they needed more options in the backfield than they currently have, and I can see this guy competing. So in terms of a little social media question that has come to us from Ed38 Special 12, how early do you pull the trigger on Andrew Luck? We're huge Andrew Luck fans here. We don't think you should pull the trigger in the 1st, 2nd round. I couldn't fault you depending on how many people are in your league and where you fall into the draft, taking him late 3rd or early 4th. I can't fault you for that. But in general, get a feel for how your draft is going, because you should be able to get him a little bit later than that. But he's a solid player. He's going to have a good year this year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, he's a top 5 guy at least going into next year, and I would say, yeah, I think you have to take him rounds 3 to 5, depending on how late round quarterback people go.
Yeah, I mean, I say take him when you feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a money maker. I when I feel good, like I'm in my spot, I'm taking him. And then he's one of the few I would go high on. So he's right
So
up
there
there.
you go. We haven't been we don't have our first rankings up yet, so it's a little hard for us to say exactly, but we're saying, you can, I think he's going to be in the Aaron Rodgers conversation of the elite guy. So where you put that?
Ever or of?
No, fantasy
No,
draft
for
this
the
year.
fantasy draft. For the fantasy draft. Maybe ever. I don't know. He's pretty
That's
good.
intriguing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got a
I'm
team
not
and a
knocking
coach that
that.
clearly wants to support him, and he's good stuff, and he's smart, and he's really smart. I like that in a quarterback. So, hey, Texans.
So I keep forgetting that I covered this team. It's really exciting.
That's weird.
Really, because all I want to do is talk about Arian Foster, and we can't. Well, we can a little bit, but so the sleeper I can actually get behind, because here's my problem, and I'm going to say this in general, and then we can kind of discuss this. Listen, everyone's going to overvalue the rookie wide receivers because last year's rookie wide receivers did so well. So everyone's going to be drafting Amari Cooper and Kevin White way too early for me. Way too early for what I'm all about. But a sleeper that I can actually get behind is Jalen Strong. He went in the 3rd round. He's from Arizona State. He has great hands. People say that he reminds them of Larry Fitzgerald and Andre Johnson. 6'2", 217. He did have to sit out a year because of academic reasons. I don't know what that's all about. But my point is, they need him.
So he failed chemistry.
Academics don't matter in the NFL.
No.
It happens. And so, so anyway, he joins Hopkins and Shorts as they pair up with either Hoyer, Mallett, or Savage, and that's actually his problem.
Yeah.
So, more on that later.
Yeah. We've got a whole season to talk about that mess.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they're not messy at all.
No. This team has everything going for them this year. Maybe.
I love Fowler.
Yeah,
I do too. I love the pick of Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah.
Bortles needs to spend a lot more time on his feet than with his face being smashed into the grass this year. So Fowler should be able to, help him out with that greatly. So this was a really good pickup. I'm glad they went with this right out of the gate. It shows, that they're committed to Bortles and they're going to do what they need to do to give him some protection. So I'm pretty glad about that. It's also pretty obvious that the Jags needed to pick up a running back in the draft. And I'm a big fan of TJ Yeldon's choice. I think this is a good choice for them. He's got the potential to actually be a feature back and kind of avoid the whole committee nightmare situation. He's kind of a mid-sized running back, but he's shifty. I think this is a good pick. And I think you pair this with Fowler, and we've got some options for some holes. So I like it. I like it. The choice, they've kind of made choices to start afresh here. Build pretty much an entirely new offense around Bortles and kind of have them grow up together in a way. They have a tight end. They have 2 new offensive linemen. They picked up 2 wide receivers plus a running back. They're taking the new look Jags. They're kind of just rebuilding this whole kind of offense all together and have them grow up. So
I like it.
if that pairs out.
Yeah, I hope it's not like the freshmen playing the varsity squad every
It could be a nightmare. It might be for a little bit. But maybe they'll gel. Maybe it's going to be a really rough year, and kind of next year they would have really gelled and it'll be a big step. I don't know.
It's the Jaguars. It's always been a rough year, so what's the difference, right? What's another? Added on. Tennessee Titans. Number 2 pick overall. There are no surprises, no trades, no Phillip Rivers, no Sam Bradfords.
No.
Nothing. Just Marcus, Mr. Roboto Mariotto. Thank you, Roger Goodell. I love you.
Wow.
It's like my favorite.
The one guy that literally was mentioned every single day for the last 2 months is the one name he didn't pronounce.
You had
right.
Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. That's it. That's all you had. 2 names that you had to get right? I mean, that was it.
In fairness, he did call him and apologize and say, I'm sorry, like, right away. And Mariota didn't even know. He's like, I couldn't even hear you. And in fact, when he's on the phone with the Titans, his call dropped. So
because he's in Hawaii, adorable.
It's just kind of cute. It's like, I like him.
It's like, I don't have reception.
He looked so good at the drafts too. Some of those outfits, you guys, I'm saying, like, were awesome this year. Just like awesome.
Traditional Samoan garb is awesome. I'm excited that all men should wear that.
Red carpet on this, because there's like some outfits.
The guy in the white tux?
Amazing.
With the spiked, shiny, bedazzled shoes.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? My favorite. Oh, yeah.
All
awesome.
Killing it.
But, this is kind of their Oscars, right? This is their moment. This is like they've achieved their dream. So, yeah, go all out. I thought it was awesome. I also like to see their mothers, what they're wearing, too, because they're, like, styling. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. It's a moment.
It is sweet. I mean, I always cry during the draft. Like, their dreams are coming true. Like, every time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, you have your favorites.
There you go.
Mariota was mine. I wish he would have got number 1, but I'm happy he's not playing for Tampa Bay. Like Parker's mom, I like to choose where my favorites go. But the biggest impact for the Titans was actually after Mariota when they got Darrell Green Beckham. So many NFL scouts had him up there, the top 10 or top higher than that wide receiver, but because he likes to smoke the ganja, he got pushed down a little bit to the second round. But hey, I think it's a great pick. I think he's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a great connection between the two of them. Tennessee's got a lot of work, but I think this is good. Beckham is 6'5", 237 pounds.
Well, we already know other Beckhams
receiver. Yeah, yeah. And if it's anything like the name,
Dorial Green Beckham, welcome.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exciting. AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, the draft was very Andy Reid, not flashy and solid.
No.
So the only fantasy interest lies in Chris Conley. He's a wide receiver out of Georgia. He was picked in the 3rd round. I like him developing under Jeremy Maclin because he's fast, he has huge hands, and I'm going to make a bold prediction right now, ladies, and I don't know if you can get behind this, but I believe that both Jeremy Maclin and Chris Conley will score a touchdown next year.
Get out of town.
I think they both will. 1.
Did you not watch last season, Brennan?
I can't guarantee more than 1, but I believe each will score.
You guys,
uno touchdown.
I think this is the season of 5 wide receiver touchdowns this year.
Conley's going to get 1 2-point conversion, and Macklin's going to get 2 touchdowns, and that'll be it. That's my prediction.
Or Alex Smith's going to go off. They're going to let him unleash.
So you've been saying since 2009.
Go the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Shane Ray.
I loved that pick.
Winning. And if anybody watched the NFL Draft Edition on ESPN, Shane Ray is a good guy. Again, a little marijuana, It's Colorado. So
If he was in
he's
Colorado, we
perfect.
wouldn't even know about it. A joint in
Seriously.
your car, you would not get a citation.
It wasn't even in the system. So, I mean, forget about it. It's. I'm happy he dropped that low. I am so happy that we got
Sounds
him for
done
that
that way.
value, and we have. I'm sorry, like the best defense, front seven in the NFL now because of him. He's NFL ready. It's going to be awesome. Draft the Broncos defense next year. I think they're going to have quite the year. And other than that, bold.
Well, they haven't exactly
have on
been
their
killing
defense?
it the last few years.
Last year they were muchly improved, and this
Much
year they're only going to
improved,
be even that much better. So,
All right.
I'm into it. This
I'm a cynical
offseason,
fan.
they lost the Broncos lost offensive linemen and of course their tight end Julius Thomas, so they filled those spots. They got 2 offensive linemen and another tight end. Now they are tight end heavy, which is hilarious to me. There's so many tight ends out there, but it's Peyton Manning. Anything's possible.
None of them are Julius.
Goodbye, Julius.
Well, so they can block.
The Jeff Herman. Jeff Herman can block. Jeff Herman is a big boy, and he can block. So he's going to be more of an all-around tight end, unlike Julius. Yes, Ashley. But I don't know if he's going to be playing because there's so many other guys now on the team because it's Kubiak and he loves his tight ends. So, but we'll see. It's
Now we can have pick of the litter.
you can pick out the litter exactly. Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders. They took a pick that, I was a little surprised. I probably would have picked a defensive player in the first round as the Raiders because they're in a division where they need to be able to stop some teams. They got to stop Rivers. They got to stay past Peyton. They got to stop Jamal Charles. But I can see why they picked Amari Cooper. I can see it. They have to see what Derek Carr is made of, and they have to be able to give him a weapon to see this. They're trying to determine if Derek Carr is going to be their franchise quarterback. So you got to give him some tools, right? So I can see. And Amari Cooper's a fantastic wide receiver out of Alabama, so I get why they chose him.
Amazing.
What? Yeah, I
amazing.
get it. It's kind of that thought of like best player on the board. Like, do they need defensive help? Yeah. But Amari Cooper's there, so they grabbed him. So
They need help
run any route.
everywhere. As long as
They
they
do
didn't
do-
draft a quarterback, like literally they could do no
they do.
wrong in this draft in my
Yeah.
eyes. So bravo,
Well,
A+.
yeah.
You participated in the draft, Oakland.
You
That's all you
improved.
had to do.
There we go. They did get a player I am excited about on the defense. So Ben Heaney, he's in the 5th round. I think he's one of their better pickups. He's a bit of a small linebacker. But the pros is that he's reckless, and I like that. Like, if you're a small player, you got to have no fear. You just got to throw your body around, and he's like that. So I think he could materialize in the NFL. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. But like we said, only 4 of their 10 picks were on the defense, so I'm a little bit nervous. We'll have to see a little bit more of an even split. But they did add 2 more guys. The O-line, we know they had a ton of O-line problems last year, so at least they're giving their offensive chance this year. So come on, Raiders. Rooting for you.
All Raiders. Chargers. They had a huge hole in one position, which is the running back, and enter Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin, superstar. My favorite player coming out of the NFL draft this year.
I was surprised he went so low.
Well, the running backs haven't even gone in the first
Yeah,
round.
yeah, it's amazing he's even in the first
Come
round.
on.
I thought he'd go higher than he did in the first round. I'm super pumped for Melvin.
Melvin is fabulous.
Love
I
it.
wish he wasn't in the same division as the Broncos because I hate to cheer for him, but this is like another LT situation. We gotta cheer for the good guys, and Melvin's one of those guys thus far.
How much do you miss drafting LaDainian Tomlinson? You just kind of
Seriously.
pained my heart a little bit. I was
Yeah,
like, I used to love him.
I know. Well, hopefully Gordon is the next LT. I really hope so. I hope this is like a thing for San Diego, that they're just going to get this one running back that sticks. So we'll see. Other than that, the Chargers went defense, which they really needed.
Yep.
So it's no fun to go against the Broncos and the Chiefs twice each in a year or so. We'll see. But go Chargers. Good luck. NFC East, Dallas Cowboys.
All right. So I forgot to actually announce this during our draft show, but one of our favorite listeners, Casey Kasem, won the Scott Fishbowl League to play with one of us, and so well, with all of us, but there's so many different divisions, so the three of us are in different divisions, but she gets to be in one of ours. So I asked her who she would pick, and she said, obviously I can't pick between you three, which is very sweet, and thank you. But then she said, well, how about whoever, so I was like, well, okay, how about since your team's Dallas, whoever draws that, you'll be in their league. She's like, perfect. So it's me. You're stuck with me, and I'm sorry.
Yay.
So, Casey, we're so excited to play with you. So mostly defensive and offensive linemen. I mean, they got probably the steal of the draft with defensive end Randy Gregory, or he'll be a total bust. No one knows, all these off-the-field issues. He actually failed a drug test at the NFL Combine. Not great timing, but, we took Shane Ray, and he decided to get caught with a joint in his car the week of the draft. So,
oh, hold on. I mean, you are at the draft. You know you were getting tested, and you still couldn't.
Combine, you mean? Yes.
Yeah, the combine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that is cray-cray.
You're being tested. You know.
Right. Well, he's already put a star tattoo on his body to demonstrate his faithfulness to the team, and he also used the high on life line, as he said he's high on life, which
Wouldn't you?
It reminds me of Dare. Remember from the 80s?
Yeah.
Anyway,
kids need hugs, not drugs.
But the only thing that did happen was that they did not draft a running back. So this is what this means. They believe that Darren McFadden has become a unicorn. Or they're unbelievably pompous and really genuinely believe that a grandparent could run through their offensive line and get over 1,000 yards. Listen, I know that they're great. They are a great offensive line. They do make great holes, and I understand that. But I am shocked that they did not beef up somewhere in running back. And no, they are not getting Adrian Peterson. We have to just put it all away. It's not happening.
Or they actually believe they're going to get AP.
No way. No way.
All options are crazy.
If the draft determined anything, it's that the world is actually much more boring than we want it to be. That's not going to happen.
Seriously.
That's all I was going to say. So it's just McFadden, Joseph Randall, Lance Dunbar. I guess we're going to wait to camp and see what happens. But, wow. None of them are DeMarco Murray. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah. No. Well, that brings us to the Philadelphia Eagles, which, again, we thought they were going to be so exciting in the draft, and they did not do anything exciting.
I didn't think that.
What?
I didn't think that.
Yes.
I've been raging for 2 months about this, and then I send the tweet being like, "I guess I win the bet," and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna give it 2 weeks because I think they're still gonna do something." I was like, "Holy moly!"
Well, and I do too. I got that in my notes. I don't necessarily think they're going to, but I think it is a possibility. Okay. It's Chip Kelly, and there's weird stuff going on. I have a feeling that the locker room doesn't particularly care for him right now. I don't know. There's so much drama.
You saw McCoy's article, right?
He's racist. He got rid of all the good black players.
Which I think is ridiculous. He wanted to keep
they're a draft pick, wide receiver, Nelson Aguilar. He's great. He's a wonderful addition, and after losing Jeremy Maclin, to the Chiefs, this will be a good, substitute for a while, but hopefully a good replacement. But I don't know. I don't trust Kelly at this point. After everything went down, I don't believe it's over. I just don't believe it's over. I really do feel like the Eagles team will still change. In some way or another, it's going down. But the Redskins
is all on board with the conspiracy theories.
I am in the conspiracy.
She is all about it. Any conspiracy theory, Courtney's like, oh yeah.
I wish they made documentaries about this because I would watch it all the time and be like, oh yeah, Bill Belichick's my master now. I love him. I love him. I hated him forever, but You give me a documentary and it just changes my ways. Now it's like, oh, game on. They need that about RG3 because I dislike that man greatly for fantasy football purposes. So
Yeah, well.
they need to do a really good documentary for him for me to believe in him again too.
Well, you're not alone, Cordy. You are not alone on that. So, somebody, not naming names, clearly was complaining about his offensive line as the Redskins picked up a tackle, a guard, and a center. I doubt all of them will make the team, but clearly a statement was made that they seem to feel the Redskins organization, or at least one person in the Redskins organization, feels that that was the problem last year. We'll see if that really was the problem, but
We'll see.
We'll see. The Redskins defense left a little bit desired last season, so the pickup of defensive end Preston Smith was not a complete surprise to me. He's not exactly the biggest guy for an end at only 271 pounds, so he may or may not be moved positions, but he's athletic enough to do it. And I'm intrigued by the wide receiver Jamison Crowder pick. He's a slot guy, which Pierre Garçon kind of fills that role. So I think this guy will be more of a special teams kind of guy. As I do believe, and I may be on crazy pills, that Pierre Garçon still deserves another go-around.
I don't think that's
I do, but I don't know if
Yeah.
his coaches do, but I do.
And, again, total quarterback carousel last year, hypothetical offensive line issues. They're going to give Garçon another chance, so I don't really see Crowder being too much of a fantasy implication for you, other than he should be a fantastic special teams player. So then again, you're not picking up the Redskins' defense in any way, shape, or form. So
No.
No.
I tried to look up one of RG3's catchphrases that he's trademarked. I couldn't find them, but we'll make fun of that on another show. Funny to know what I was doing while looking down.
The New York Giants, nothing flashy, nothing sexy, but they did what they needed to do. They got an offensive lineman, Eric Flowers, who's legit. I love him. This just makes my fantasy love tank completely full. Now, I mean, I love Eli Manning that much more. I love Beckham that much more. I love all the running backs that much more. So, I'm all in on the Giants this year. This is just another step in them being great. Great. I mean, NFC North, we got the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers never give a flashy performance at the draft, but they are always smart. So that's exactly what happened again. Most notable thing that happened was that they took a 5th-round draft pick in quarterback Brett Hundley. So I keep hearing that he is going to, just like Aaron Rodgers, learn under him and become the next guy. This is the moment we've made our investment. I don't think so. I'm going to put it out there now. Aaron Rodgers is only 31. In a league where people are playing into their 40s or at least into their late 30s, I see no reason to believe that Aaron Rodgers is even close to the door. I think we're looking at another Flynn who has a couple great games and gets traded and has a huge contract and walks away a very happy man. Now, hopefully he has more success after he leaves Green Bay than Matt Flynn, but you understand what I'm saying. It just isn't...
Yeah.
I don't think this is the next guy.
He's not going to wait around.
Way too long. Yeah, he's too talented to wait that long. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has shown no sign of slowing down. He also did sit on the bench, so he has a long ways to go.
But he was only on the bench for, 3-4 years under Favre? I mean, it wasn't...
That's
long
nowadays.
NFL.
Yeah,
now that's really long.
It's certainly not going to be the 6 years it could potentially be with Rodgers.
But getting that many years without getting hit elongates your career.
Sure.
Absolutely. So I just feel like he's not even close.
Whatever.
There's no way this is the next guy.
Keep him for the next guy and send Rodgers to the Broncos to die. Every quarterback, just send them to us when they hit 34. 35. Just bring them.
Bring them right here.
Right here.
Yeah, they also did draft a tight end, Kennard Beckham, in the 6th round, but he's not going to play. Maybe, but it doesn't matter. They don't use tight ends anyway, so it literally does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
So true.
It
They just
doesn't.
they don't use them.
Yeah. they
Would you
don't.
use them if you had Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb and Eddie Lacy running around? No, you wouldn't.
No.
No need. No need. Detroit Lions.
So the Lions shifted down in the draft by making a deal with the Broncos, but they got a steal out of it. Everyone's kind of like, what are they doing? Because it wasn't that much of a change, really, with what was going on there. But Stafford struggled a bit last year, so picking up a gritty player, an offensive line, and might I say, perhaps the nicest guy in the NFL now, in Lincoln Tomlinson, it was a huge win. Great person. You've got now going to have this great atmosphere in the locker room. You've got a great player. Huge fan of this pick. I love it. He's going to be great for the community. He's someone they can rally around. It's perfect. I love it. And to round out the new O-line, they picked up offensive tackle Corey Robinson, who I also really like for the fact that, A, he's huge. He's 6'7", 324 pounds. But he evens out Lincoln Tomlinson, who is a little bit smaller at 6'3". So I'm really liking this pick. They got kind of different styles of play. I like it. They're going to even each other out. And then they did quarterback Quandre Diggs, who is small, but he knows exactly how to work his position and his opponents to his advantage. And there are plenty of secondary players that we have seen that are at that 5'9" kind of stature, 5'9", 5'10", that have proven they can still play ball at a small stature. So overall, I like a lot of their picks.
Yeah.
Love Lincoln.
Good.
Love him.
Love him. He's like my new favorite. And I love the name. I named my own kid Lincoln.
Lincoln?
Just gotta
Lincoln.
get pregnant.
Got it.
Lincoln.
There's that key to get.
He did come off like Lincoln though. I can
It's
understand.
Lincoln.
As she says it with like Lincoln. She
Yeah.
says that A. She says that
It's
A.
that,
like,
it's that weird
like-
accent
like,
I have out of nowhere. from
Ray
Colorado.
Aiken.
Yeah.
I always get asked, where are you from? And I'm like, Colorado. Very confused with people.
Well, we got the Minnesota Vikings. They went pretty heavy on defense for the first 3 rounds, which is fine with me because they have to defend some huge wide receivers.
I
Calvin
love
Johnson,
that.
Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Alshon Jeffries. So the cornerback, Trey Waynes, come on. Let's do it. We need that. And they got some offensive linemen. They got quite a few offensive linemen, 3 in fact. So
It's
makes you
needed.
think maybe this is to keep AP happy. We'll see. Chicago Bears.
Wide receiver phenom Kevin White from West Virginia is a dynamic player and has all the measurables that you could dream of. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. He ran a 4.35 at the combine. But I just think he's going to go way too early in fantasy drafts and could be a potential bust. Now, hear me out. I know. I just said he has all the talent in the world. The Bears kept their number 1 guy, Alshon Jeffrey, and then there's a sleeper du jour, Marcus Wilson, and I think they're going to use him along with Matt Forte, who was one of the best receivers in the league last year, even though he was a running back. Then they brought in Eddie Royal, hopefully to create some chemistry with Cutler, not to mention the conservative gameplay of John Fox. Now, I know that he's not the offensive coordinator, but he is very against Jay Cutler being a gunslinger and getting him and his entire staff fired. So I'm tempering my expectations. I think people are going off the rails with the Kevin White love. Wondering your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's Cutler still, guys. It's still Cutler. It's
But
like
with
Sammy
Cutler-
Watkins, it's still Manuel. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's too early to tell, but there's a lot of targets on that team, too. There's just a lot of targets, and only one Cutler.
And I didn't even bring up Martellus Bennett, who, by
Yeah.
the way, there's rumors that he's on the trading block, but until he's gone, I'm not 110.
Well, they put Jay Cutler up on the trading block right before the draft started. That was nice news. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
that's what
so
I'm saying.
mean. That's so mean, to do.
Yeah, he's not even a happy Cutler.
No,
We're talking
he's
about
not
a
even a happy
degraded
Cutler anymore.
Cutler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. Ashley, do you have thoughts? Sorry.
No, I mean it's Cutler, and so you that's is part of the charm of him is you have no clue what you're gonna get. There's no way to predict at all. I'm a little nervous about letting him air it out.
Yeah.
It brings me back to the Bears, like 4 years ago of just like constant interceptions and constant sacks of Cutler. just all over the place. And make sure you
Yeah.
look your settings to see if you are in a league where you lose points every time your quarterback is sacked. Not all leagues have it, but a lot of leagues do. And in which case, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
nervous.
NFC South, this is going to be a different looking team, the New Orleans Saints.
It is. And a team that I'm okay with you passing over.
Completely.
for the most part. So some people did not understand why, with their first pick, the Saints chose offensive tackle Andres Pete. But Breeze is getting older, guys, and the Saints need A, to have a stronger running game this season, and B, they need to provide Breeze more protection. So they need to be a more physical team this year, and so they needed to pick a little bit grittier of an offensive line person to be able to kind of start this shift, start this transition of purely airing it out. They've lost Jimmy Graham. They don't have great wide receivers. They're losing their air options. They have to start running the ball, and they have to protect Breeze. So, I mean, that kind of is what it is. I was a little surprised to see they did not pick up another tight end. I guess they must have a lot of faith in Josh Hill.
I like Josh Hill.
I do too, but I'm just a little surprised they didn't pick somebody up. But and of the 9 picks, 6 of them were on defense, so I'm glad that they are aware that they need some major reworking of their defense. So I'm glad to see that they addressed those issues. But it brings me to our social media question from Jab Steppen. Hope I said that right. Saints, underrated sleeper receivers, tight ends on their depth chart.
I think Josh Hill.
I would say Josh Hill is your only borderline sleeper, and for the most part, the only sleeping that should be done is by you to just sleep through any pick of the Saints and just not choose them. Just don't do it. Just skip over it. Feel free to take a nap whenever a Saints player is up during your draft. It will
Totally
help you pick
sad.
them. Yeah.
Carolina Panthers.
Devin Funchess from Michigan, 6'4", 232. Gotta love it, because they're going to need him opposite Kelvin Benjamin. It is what it is. He
Yeah.
is not the hot pick like the Amari Cooper and Kevin Whites of the world, but he's going to be functional. This is like the Perryman pick.
This is good for Calvin Benjamin, too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. So last year was an anomaly, though. Rookie wide receivers usually have a tough time with the routes and things like that. But, I still feel like he's worth a flyer considering the fact that he will be starting. I mean, they don't have other options, so it is what it is. And then they drafted a guy named Shaq Thompson, which I saw Ashley's tweet about how it's sad that someone's named Shaq. However, the Patriots also drafted a Shaq Mason, so I should put that out there. But it is hard for all the people that are named after people that go by one name. Like you can't name your kid Cher. Madonna, Bet, even Barbara, Tiger. There's some toughies out there, and so
There should just be some names that are retired, like jerseys. Shaq is one of them.
I'm gonna put Barbara up there. There's only one Barbara.
Certainly Babs. No one else can go by
We've got
Babs.
Shaq O'Neal and Barbara Streisand. Those are the two.
Yep. Those are the two jerseys we're retiring tonight. Barbara Streisand.
This is a
Shaquille
podcast
O'Neal.
of women who love sports. Clearly. Clearly. Awesome.
I probably wore my Shaquille O'Neal starter jacket while watching Barbara Streisand and Funny Girl.
Oh my God, that wouldn't surprise
Probably
me.
have done that.
We did have Orlando starter jacket. I think was that yours, Brandon, or was that Ashley's?
Mine. I had a lightweight and a winter starter jacket.
Yeah, for the Magic. Yeah.
Back in the Penny Hardaway era, baby.
Oh man.
Penny!
Wow.
Now you're just dropping bombs.
Now you're doing it. Awesome. Atlanta Falcons. I really like the running back that they got, Tevin Coleman. I really like him. In his junior year at University of Indiana, Coleman rushed for over 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. And what's even more impressive about that was on a broken foot. So this guy, I think has all the potential in the world. Atlanta needs him. I think it's just a great marriage. And I think he's one of those guys people might forget about because he's not Melvin Gordon or Todd Gurley, and I'm into him. I like him a lot, and we all know Kyle Shanahan likes to run the ball.
Ugh.
So it's not a bad sleeper, guys. It's not a bad sleeper. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This team is going to be the bane of my existence. Jameis Winston went first in the draft, like we all knew he would. Of course, I have to cover him. Then Chris Berman said on ESPN, well, we all know what he did. Did you hear that? What he meant was like in college he had great stats, but what it came off in is like, oh yeah, we do know.
Insert crab legs picture.
Yeah,
Lots of things. Yeah.
and then after the draft, he took a picture of himself eating crab legs
Yeah.
in his
Oh,
Tampa
yeah.
Bay jersey. So his decision making is still what we thought it was. Then they took a bunch of offensive linemen, which I like, and Mike Evans is still the bomb. So he's probably there's some fantasy value on this team, but I'm just not prepared to talk about it because I'm getting over.
There is. It's good.
But I will say right now, the most overrated person in the 2015 draft will be Austin Seferian-Jenkins, the guy who caught 21 passes last year, but no one can stop talking about him. Like he is going to be the most fantasy relevant tight end of all time. Don't fall for it, people. He's the Ladarius Green of today.
Sure is.
NFC West, Seattle Seahawks.
So the Seahawks in the third round chose a wide receiver. And anyone who has listened to our show knows that we do not think much in terms of fantasy-wise for the Seahawks wideouts in general. I think this guy was an okay pick, but I wish he was a little bigger. He's only 5'10". He screams a bit more of a special teams than an actual receiver to me. He just kind of fits into this like blah category of Seattle Seahawk wide receivers. So not super jazzed about that one. I'm also not a huge fan of the Terry Poole offensive tackle pick. He got out-muscled a bit in college and quite honestly probably needs to move inside. You know, when you already have a quarterback that is a little bit smaller in size, you definitely can't have someone that gets pushed around a bit. So, again, a little bit of an unusual pick, but I'm sure Carroll sees something in him. But I am a big fan of this name I am about to brutally butcher. Aboom Gwacham? I'm sure that was so wrong, it's not even funny. But the Seahawks epitomize athleticism. So the fact they picked up a guy who used to be a wide receiver and moved to defensive end last season, this is a perfect fit for him. I love this choice. I'm excited to see what Pete Carroll's going to do with them. This is like one of my favorite picks. I just saw that. Who goes from wide receiver to defensive end? I love it. And I'm sorry that I destroyed your name. I apologize.
But congratulations and welcome to the National Football League.
There you go. Exactly.
Arizona Cardinals. You know, they got a running back. So, you know, all those Andre Ellington. I was high on him last year before going into the draft, and he disappointed us again and again. I don't know what this running back is going to do. Either he's going to be a great support system for Andre Ellington, which Bruce Arians has already said will continue to get the load, or he's going to eventually sneak ahead of this Ellington guy we keep talking about, who I want to forget about.
I want him to be better.
I want him to be better. I do, and I hope David Johnson is the running back's name. Is the support system that Ellington needs to be the fantasy guy that we've been drafting for the last couple of years. So, but, you know, Ellington gets hurt, and bam, there you go. It's David Johnson, people. It's your name. That is your name. San Francisco 49ers.
The first three picks were all defense, and that's a really great move for them because they've lost a lot of people randomly and due to retirement. And there's just a lot of things have happened. The only thing is I'm not getting a good sense of who this team is. I have no idea what they're doing, where they're going. It's very difficult. I can tell you that Blake Bell, the tight end from Oklahoma, is not going to replace Vernon Davis, especially in a contract year. So don't get into that business. Yeah. But if you are in a dynasty league, if Vernon Davis does not work out, this guy will be the starter moving forward. So just something to think about. And the running back, Mike Davis, actually is very interesting to me because they only have Carlos Hyde there and Reggie Bush, but really? So I think that he might actually get some playing time because Carlos Hyde, you know, we haven't seen him as an every down guy, and I think they're going to really want to run this year. So that's the one person I would pay attention to, and he got drafted in the 4th round, so no one's paying attention. You could get him for cheap.
Cheap.
I like it. I like it.
St. Louis Rams.
Well, someone had to take running back Todd Gurley, so why not the Rams, right?
Yay!
Why not? So, sure, they already have a very confusing backfield, and I'm sure you want to go nowhere near it for fantasy, and no one's going to blame you. But perhaps this will clear things up a bit. He's a good player, so let's just hope that they don't destroy him. That is my hope here.
Through their lack of loyalty.
Right, yeah, exactly. So what I do really like is offensive tackle Robbie Havenstein pickup. You know, with a new quarterback in town, a big dude like Robbie, he's 6'7", will not only help protect Foles, but he's going to help Gurley out to help break through those holes. And they picked up 3 more men to fill out the rest of the O-line. So clearly they're making a big effort to really kind of give Foles a chance here and to really solidify picking up Gurley to give him a chance here. They also picked up another quarterback. So, you know, I can never say his name. It's Sean Mannion? Mannion? M-A-N-N-I-O-N? Anyway. This does make me kind of question their belief in Foles' longevity. But let's be honest, they need a backup anyway, so don't fret yet. They're going to see what Foles has to do. Don't sit here and think we're going to have this quarterback competition. I don't see that happening. So overall, I feel pretty good about the Rams draft. I feel good about it.
I agree. Wow. Overall, the draft was just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like kind of everyone did what they were supposed to do, really. I think the Seahawks were the only ones that really kind of missed the mark, in my opinion. But
yeah, I agree. It was the one they were trying okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I wish it was a little bit more exciting, Tennessee, but, you know, I'll get over it.
I'm not naming names, Tennessee.
I'm not naming names, Tennessee. But, yeah, so... Well, that was fun. It was awesome. So last show we did our draft. This show we did this NFL draft. We've got a couple more weeks, guys, and then really it's time for you to do your fantasy draft. It's starting already, you guys. It is crazy. In May. It's happening early. It is nuts. It is crazy. It's coming to that time. So make sure to hop onto herfantasyfootball.com and subscribe to us so you can hear what we're doing this off season and get yourself pumped for fantasy football. And listen to us on Blog Talk Radio and on iTunes. Chat with us on Twitter at HerFantasyFB and on Facebook /HerFantasyFootball. We love talking to you. We love answering your questions. It's a great place to talk to us. Until next time, no more faking it.